My name is Carrissa Hsieh, but everyone calls me Pebbles, especially at Camp Erin. And my relationship to Olivia is we are both volunteers at Camp Erin.
Hi, Pebbles. I'm so happy to be with you today. My name is Olivia Ramos.
We've been with Camp Erin for quite a while in different sorts of environments and with different campers over the years. I'm wondering if you have a particular story of a child or a moment that has really touched you and stuck with you throughout the years.
Yeah, the camp is about grief and loss, but not all of it is a downer. and, and some of the themes and the stories that are my favorite are those of hope and joy. We have a Camp Erin logo that features a blue heron and a shooting star. I tell those stories in front of the campfire to all of the kids.
Mhm.
And so many times they'll come back running to me the next morning with a blue heron feather in their hand and telling me, Erin's here in spirit. We found a blue heron. What about you? 3 years is magic. And so I'm sure there's an experience or two that stays with your heart.
There was one camper in particular had a really tough time decorating. There was just a lot of conflicting feelings of sadness, anger, and guilt. I think was also playing a part in that as well. Just guilt of feeling angry, which is super reasonable. And so I stayed with him, and we did not say a single word that whole time we were sitting next to each other by the pond. And we didn't need to. I was definitely crying silently to myself on the side. When you're grieving, like all you really need is just a person to be there.
A great point is that so many people don't know the best way to support people.
Kind of seeing where they're at, not always going jumping straight to I'm so sorry, like, oh, you must be so sad or whatever, putting feelings into their mouth essentially. um so that's definitely one thing that I've learned, and I actually think you're the one who told me that in a really great way. And I think the other thing that I've learned about just sort of the grieving process and what I've learned from camp is, sometimes these kiddos just need to be kids. They just need the time and the space to run around, eat too much candy, and then get sick, and then go bounce in a bounce house, and then paint their nails with their cabin mates. They can still be a kid. But yeah, the resiliency of children is also extremely powerful, and that's definitely something that I've taken away from just my short time at Camp Erin.
One of the things that comes to mind for me was our very first year where I was in the art cabin with a teen. She was 13 and she had just lost her mom. We sat there for maybe 45 minutes and barely said a word. One, I was a brand new volunteer. My background is in social work. All we did was color. We did art projects almost 40 minutes. I didn't really think anything of it then. That one volunteer actually came back 10 years later. She came back as a logistics. She sought me out, gave me a note that I had written her. She was wearing her beads of courage.
Oh my gosh.
She was wearing those from the very first year. This is 10 years that have passed. And she made sure to come back to me and tell me how much that time meant to her, how healing it was. And it was probably the very first time I really realized how important the work it is that we're doing. Because for me, I thought it was 45 minutes of coloring. I didn't think much of it. And then knowing the impact we had on her and her life and that memory was still so vibrant in her soul. And she tells the story still years later. Every year, she always comes back and says something about how healing that weekend was and how we were exactly what she needed when we were trying to help kids or even other adults through the grieving process. The simple sitting, we don't have to fix their problems. We don't have to,
Mhm.
but sometimes just sitting and being is exactly what folks need. So,
I appreciate you so much for being that beacon for Erin at camp. And I'm very fortunate to be able to share that and to be at Camp Erin with you.
thank you so much, Pebbles. And thank you for sharing this time with me today. I look forward to serving with you in this experience and this camp for years to come. So grateful to have met you and this journey we're on together now.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.